Let's move now to Mpumalanga. President Cyril Ramaphosa has been meeting ANC party structures in Mbombela today. Political instability in that province has seen the party's National Working Committee dissolving the interim provincial committee. A much-delayed provincial conference has to take place before the party heads towards its elective conference at the end of the year. eNCA senior reporter Siphamandla Goge is in Mbombela covering the story, and he joins us now. Sipa, there is... Before you tell us about the fact that Mpumalanga, their provincial conference is not going to happen this weekend and why, I think you need to take us back to what happened in 2017, which of course is when David Mabuza left the province to become deputy president. It seems there's been a bit of a vacuum since then.
You need to go back to as far back as 2015. That's when this whole thing started. We are where we are today because of what happened in 2015, which led to 2017. In 2015, the ANC in Mpumalanga convenes its elective conference. They elect the new provincial executive. The officials there include David Mabuza as the chairperson. He runs this province up until he decides to say, you know what? 2017, I want to ascend to one of the highest positions in the ANC to become the deputy president of the governing party. So in 2017, he leaves Mpumalanga after he was elected the deputy president of the ANC. In terms of the ANC constitution, tradition and practice, they needed to go for what is known as the Provincial General Council to fill the vacancy that would have been left by the departure of David Mabuza, but they were unable to do that. So there was an acting chairperson in the name of Mandla Ndlovu. For all these years, he's been acting ever since David Mabuza left. They were meant to convene the provincial conference, but they say they couldn't convene it because of the 2019 general elections. Immediately after that, they say there was COVID-19 and local government elections, so they couldn't convene it. But now the National Working Committee of the ANC has said, your term has lapsed. We are disbanding you as the Provincial Executive Committee of the ANC in Mpumalanga, putting in place an interim structure, but you need to go for your conference, and their conference has been delayed, Sally.
Yeah. Let's take a listen to Lindiwe and Charlie talking about exactly that.
The approved dates of the conference was that the tentative date was 11 to 13 April. But remember, I said we've got a pending meeting with your Luthuli House, the organizing. Indeed, we have met with them, and the feedback we got from the TG is that we also in that meeting, decisions that were taken, there are branches who were disputing some of the outcomes. There are branches who said the new membership system, as you scan, you must synchronize it so that it reports to Luthuli and give you an audit outcome. So some of the scanners were not aware that they should synchronize. Some, they thought they have scanned and yet they haven't. So if it's still 000, it means your branch is disqualified. But they were given, as per the guideline, your 7 days of going back and rerunning. So since Friday, these branches were rerunning, and that 7 days lapses on Thursday.
Sounds like lots of logistical problems, but also threats of legal action. There's lots that's not working right in this province. Tell us about the legal action and also talk to us about what the president had to say today.
Well, let me tell you, Sally, that for a minute I'll ask you to bear with me because I'll have to ask Bonga Mkhize to unmount this camera. We need to move. I see ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa is about to leave now. He has just addressed. So we will walk towards where we are meant to get the ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa shortly. And I can pretty much tell you that we were told that we'll get a word with him. But there are some disgruntled members of the ANC who have threatened to take the party to court if it convenes this elective conference. And I can tell you that they have said that because of some alleged irregularities, they are trying to interdict and halt the conference. They claim and allege that branch general meetings of the ANC were rigged, processes were not followed. But let's take a listen to Lindiwe and Charlie there as we just try to get closer here. We will pause on these bites for now that we're about to play as we anticipate that ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa will leave any minute from now on. But he's still inside the room, so I take it that we can listen to what Lindiwe Njali will tell us about the reasons and whether they are concerned about ANC members taking them to court. But for now, let's take a listen to that bite while we wait for ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa.
All right, let's play that bite.
Remember, you see, there's a new tendency, if I may call it, where when you go to conference, branches are at the court. The very same person who's threatening to take us to court, he once did 2 years ago. We won that case, and now he wants to go again and threaten us with court. And I think it's high time that the ANC decision to say when you lose after taking the ANC to court, we must attach their properties and recover the cost, because some of these members, they are costing the ANC, because defending the ANC, it's money. It's not a child's play to go and appoint an advocate to defend the movement. So hence we're saying, once they lose, we'll make follow-ups and make sure that we attach and recover our monies, because if we don't teach them a lesson and to respect the organizational protocols, people will go to court, people will go to other platforms, and yet there's internal processes and platforms where they can raise their issues.
All right, so we've lost Siphamandla just for the moment, but what we can tell you is that we are waiting for the president to come out of a meeting. He's been in Mbombela, Mpumalanga today, trying to resolve issues around this seeming leadership vacuum that, as Siphamandla was explaining, actually dates back to 2015, 2017, when, of course, David Mabuza left the province to ascend, really, I suppose, to start his ascent to where he is today, which is deputy president. And then we can see the president there now just popping on his mask. He has promised a word. So, Sipha, I'm going to leave you to take over and hopefully get a word in with the president.
Now you are going to consume my time.
We'll be very brief, Mr. President. Your meeting with party structures, issues here, long delayed conference of the ANC in Mpumalanga. You have just told them that you will tell the acting SG to convene the conference or to sign off. When is the provincial conference, and what are the issues that have been raised with you? There's been a lot of infighting and violence in Mpumalanga.
Well, the branches all gathered here, and I had a wonderful exchange of thoughts and views with them. It was a most wonderful meeting. There was a display of unity, of purpose in the meeting. There's broad agreement that the conference should be held as soon as possible. They actually wanted a date from me, and I told them that I'm not the Secretary General of the ANC, and the date is set by the Secretary General's office, so they will get a date soon. They seem very, very ready and keen to go to conference, which we are grateful for, because they've done all the preparatory work at branch level, which is good, and they do qualify to go to conference. And I raised with them the issue of unity, because there has been quite a bit of disunity amongst them, and I stressed the benefits of unity amongst them, and to choose a leadership that will unify the province and that will take the province forward. We also dealt with their electoral performance. Much as they did not decline like in many other places, they did decline, and we went through the reasons why they declined from high percentages. And Mpumalanga is an 80% performance type of province, and so they are going to do another assessment at the sub-regional level. I've given them a task to also go down to the ward level, so they will be able at the branch level to do their own assessment, so that we have a better understanding why. There are a number of reasons which they put forward as resulting in the returns that we got, and they range from the shortest time to campaign, unavailability of electoral material and paraphernalia, service delivery challenges were also raised, and divisions and all that. And I think now that we are going through this cathartic moment, people are going to get to grips with what needs to be done. So I'm happy with the meeting that we had today. It's almost like a cleansing process, but also a process through which we are strengthening our branches. So every branch leader who was here will go home reinvigorated and determined to go and do better for the African National Congress.
President, two questions from myself. Sam Kello from the SABC. Why did South Africa abstain when it came to the issue of Russia and Ukraine? 2, when are you appointing a Chief Justice? 3, Mandando behind you said you must avail yourself for a second term. This is the 4th provincial leader to say so. Are you available?
On the issue of Russia and the Ukraine, our position has been very clear. We've called for mediation. Even in my weekly letter this morning, I have called on Russia and the Ukraine to subject themselves to a mediated process which can lead to negotiation and finally bring an end to the hostilities. Up to 23 countries on the African continent abstained. We know the only country in the world to have abstained, and we have a perspective that is directing us towards saying that a mediated outcome is the best, and the resolution as it was drafted did not articulate that point very, very clearly. And we are still firm on mediation, and all of us abhor war. We are all against war because people die in war. There's just suffering and destruction of infrastructure and livelihoods. So mediation would, in our view, be the best. The issue of the Chief Justice is in hand, and there should be conclusion soon. Yes, where is Comrade Mandla?
Just behind you.
Comrade Mandla said something. I'm hard of hearing these days. I did not quite hear what he said, but that's not the issue.
Now, Mr. President, you have not appointed the National Commissioner as well when I was appointing the National Police Commissioner. But again, on the issue of the Zondo Commission, the ANC is implicated, members of your cabinet are implicated. What are you going to do to deal with that? Are you ashamed? KwaZulu-Natal Premier Sihle Zikalala says the issue of the Zulu King's coronation is in your hands now. When are you issuing a certificate of recognition?
Let's start with the issue of the kingdom, royalty of KwaZulu-Natal. That too is being handled. It's a matter that has just been concluded in a court, and so that process is now going to ensue. So that one is going to be handled. I know that everyone wants it to be done yesterday, but it is being handled. With regard to the Zondo Commission, as we have said in the past, the matters that have to do with the Zondo Commission are matters that we are applying ourselves to, and we're waiting for the totality of the reports to come out, whereafter we've set out a program through which we have said publicly that we will need to process these and we will come out. The one good thing is that we published all the reports, and having published them, we allow the public and everyone to have a look at what has been set out, and we will then finally come to a position from government. The ANC has issued a statement, and all these matters are being handled. The National Commissioner of Police is also a matter that I'm handling, and we're going through a process of ensuring that we appoint a National Commissioner. The current commissioner is serving until the end of the month, so it's not yet the end of the month, and we will be appointing someone.
Another load shedding again. Have you heard from ESCOM that they are implementing load shedding? You have said you will deal with load shedding. It's stubborn. It's not going away.
Well, I have also said that ESCOM is always dealing with a very difficult situation. We are short of 4,000 megawatts. So when they reach, in terms of their availability factor, a point which is low, then they are challenged because they don't have an additional 4,000 megawatts. And we are speeding up the acquisition of the 4,000 megawatts, because once we've got an additional 4,000 megawatts, we are in a much better position. This is important for the economy, for the people of South Africa. We want to see this resolved. So there will be those hiccups, there will be those ups and downs, as we have said in the past. But the matter is being addressed, is being handled.
Mr. President, one more from me. In the Eastern Cape, when you were addressing, you said people who are charged and leaders who are charged, they should not contest. But if I understand it, the ANC was seized with the matter of step aside, meaning people can contest, but once they are charged, they should step aside. Are you saying now that anyone who is charged should not contest for any leadership position in the ANC at all?
Well, once you are charged, you are charged, and you have stepped aside. And that is the point, and that is the principle. Thank you very much.
Are you having sleepless nights over December, over the conference?
Oh, no, I'm not. Which way do we go? Oh, no, I'm not having sleepless nights at all.
So we are guaranteed of the second term.
That is the president of the ANC, Cyril Ramaphosa, there basically on a number of issues. But his visit to Mpumalanga today was mainly about him engaging with structures of the ANC. Of course, we had to put through some of the questions and issues to him because that session that he was addressing the members of the ANC at was a very closed session, so we couldn't get in. But he says his engagement with the members of the ANC, the structures here in Mpumalanga, was mainly about the issue of the challenges that the province is facing ahead of its elective conference. But of course, we spoke about Ukraine, issues of ESCOM, and other issues that have got to do with him not appointing the Chief Justice. If my memory serves me well, it's been a month now. The nation is waiting. He says it's a matter that is under consideration. Typical diplomatic response from ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa.
Yes, indeed. Thank you so much. eNCA senior reporter Siphamandla Goge. Lots of issues peppered towards the president there. But of course, he's been in Mpumalanga today to try and sort out concerns around a lack of a provincial conference. He has not given a date, but spoke of a good meeting with branch leaders, a wonderful exchange. And he says that it's now up to the Secretary General to decide on a date for that conference. Of course, that's all leading up to December when the ANC holds its elective Congress.